Hey everybody, it's episode 209 of PodQuest.
209.
It's Thursday, August 30th, 2018, and I am Chris. With me is Walnut.
That's a lot of numbers.
2018?
Yeah.
At least I didn't go 2018.
That's how it's supposed to be.
No, I mean, like, it should be 2018, 8/30.
No, we're in America. 8/30/18.
Which doesn't make any sense. At least the European standard makes sense.
It's the 8th
Year, month, day. Not month, day, year. Like, it's a descending order.
I
Like,
know.
from greatest value to least value.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have to deal with that at work at all? Just because, like, you have to date stuff so much?
I mean, we just put the regular date, like the American date, because we're American.
I guess that makes sense. Go away, cat. Go away. So yeah, we're here. It's a Thursday instead of a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's late in the week.
Later in the week.
Yeah.
But, stuff has happened. Not all of it good.
Has stuff happened?
It has.
There has been some stuff. I do know one stuff.
So
I might know other stuff after you mention it.
probably not. It's you.
You never know.
So I figure let's start out with the bad stuff.
Yes.
Over the weekend at a Madden Tournament, an official EA Championship Series Madden Tournament in Jacksonville, Florida, there was a shooting.
Yeah, and I have read up on some of this and learned some news, and I listen to Philip DeFranco on YouTube, or not listen. I watch his show every day. His one main thing is he doesn't want to spread the word of the person who did it.
Yeah, no,
he doesn't want to spread the name or anything like that. So I say we don't do it either.
No, I mean I had no intention of talking in detail about the person.
Yeah.
It's mostly just there were three people died,
Yes.
including the shooter. The shooter shot himself.
Yeah.
At the end of it. But there were upwards of a dozen people just injured.
Yeah.
The last thing that I read, they hadn't had a confirmed number because people had been taking themselves to the hospital.
Yeah. They at one point they had to tell everybody, like, over social media and whatever, don't move. Like, if you ran from this thing, find a place, don't move, and call the authorities. We'll come get you. We don't know if it's safe yet. So a lot of people were able to get out, and people that got injured from either the gunshots or from being trampled from running, they just ended up getting to the hospital from somewhere or another. But
yeah,
it's in American standards, it's not that big of a deal, but it's still a huge deal because, like,
I mean, I think that's the wrong way to put it. It's not that it's not a huge deal. It's one of the smaller shootings, which is still a huge issue.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. It's like it's a small shooting, not many casualties, and not as many injuries as we've had in the past in America. But it's a huge deal because, number one, Major League Gaming venues have lacking security, from what I'm hearing.
So this was not a Major League Gaming venue. This was a bar.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem. So if you were going to, so the International was also this weekend, Dota 2.
Yeah.
That's at a legitimate arena. Same thing like EVO. That's at the Mandalay Bay Casino.
But I've heard, reports from people saying that security at even, the Dota 2 thing, still very lacking. Oh
yeah, I mean, compared to if you were going to an Eagles game,
yeah,
it's not nearly the same. But I have to sneeze. But the thing with this was, it wasn't just, it wasn't even an arena or something like that. It was actually just a bar in a mall. It was like a strip mall.
Yeah.
So there was actually zero security because it was a bar in the middle of the afternoon on a weekend.
But wasn't this an official EA ran thing, you said?
So it was part of the Madden Championship Series of tournaments. It was the thing that leads to the big, championship match of, the two best players in the country playing each other for a bunch of money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the shooter was somebody who got knocked out of the tournament.
Yeah, and the thing I hear, and this is giving away a bit much, from what I heard, he won last year. And got kicked out early this year.
That I don't know, because I didn't really look up the guy at all. But,
it was a quick thing that I had heard, quick read.
I don't think that's true, though, because the guy who won last year was on the stage at E3, and he seemed pretty, normal.
No, the guy who won that tournament.
Oh, I thought you meant that one.
Not the one. The whole thing.
Okay.
The guy that won that tournament last year was the guy who got kicked out and eliminated early this year. Like, because it happened on Sunday.
Was it Sunday or Saturday?
I think the shooting happened Sunday, and Saturday is when he got eliminated. He got eliminated really early.
That looks right. I'm scanning the article again, but it of course does not have the date. Man, cats are the worst, aren't they?
Yeah. I hope I didn't hurt him at all.
I don't think he did.
He seems fine.
He's just being a silly cat. But okay, yeah. So it was Sunday. It was Sunday. But yeah, it's just like there are a lot of problems with this, like just across the board.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest backlashes is going to end up being more people in politics and news blaming it on gaming, when I don't think there's been another shooting like this at a gaming related event.
No, there hasn't.
Like normally and not that it makes an actual difference, but the shootings, the last shootings I can think of have been, school related. There was the nightclub shooting 2 years ago in Florida during E3.
Yeah, there's been a lot of Florida shootings more recently. There was three nightclub shootings and three shootings in Florida, at least three notable shootings in Florida in the last 2-3 years. Two of them happened, I bbelieve, back to back from each other.
Right, because there was that
Pulse nightclub and then the Singer.
Yeah, I forgot about the Singer, because I mean that was a little different. Like, just that was an actual, a person was going to shoot another person. So a lot of these other shootings are just these blind rage, just shooting at whoever is moving.
Yeah.
And I know this one. It's down by now. There's no way you can go see it. Well, officially go see it, but like this was on stream. Like, yeah, like people heard the gunshots ring out on the stream before the stream cut.
I think it might. DeFranco had it because he covered it on Monday, and he had a link to the video, and it was still live on Monday. I haven't watched it, and I'm not going to watch it. But if you find the Philip DeFranco show from Monday, you can find the link, maybe, to the video of what happened.
But yeah, I mean, like something has to change somewhere, whether it's better gun control or something.
Yeah, it's.
But like people shouldn't. I mean, people shouldn't be doing this to each other. Like, so there was another story in the news that completely separate from this, and this wasn't like gaming related news, but there was the kid who he got sent to the hospital to get stitches because kids beat him up at school, and it's not the first time that it's happened, and he refuses to fight back because of Jedi. Like literally, like he really likes Star Wars. He's like 10 years old.
Yeah. And
because the Jedi code is like preaches like nonviolence, he will not fight back. So he ends up getting like beat up to the point of going to the hospital.
Yeah. Like
it's not a problem that the kid doesn't want to fight back, but like it's a problem that these kids are being allowed to beat him up.
Oh, there was another story within the past week or so of a boy. He was 9 years old and he came out as gay and wanted to start dressing more feminine, and so his mom let him. And he just went back to school the past week or so. There's also another like southern state, and he ended up killing himself because he was being bullied and tortured.
I hadn't seen that one.
Yeah, it's the attacks on people both mentally and physically in this country, and with gun laws and stuff like that as well. It's so shitty, and everyone's like, or at least the lawmakers tend to be just turning a blind eye to it, like it's nothing.
That's because the NRA is
in everybody's pockets.
But like the problem is, like I don't think guns are inherently bad. I don't think there's a problem for people to own guns. I don't think there's a problem for people to go to gun ranges and fire guns. I know tons of responsible gun owners. Yeah, and like some of them, you might look at them and be like, why does that person have a gun? But really, they take care of and properly use their guns, like better than most people. So like it's not the guns, it's the access people have to them in certain states. Like New Jersey, it's not easy to buy a gun.
No.
Like you have to jump through a lot of legal hoops to do it.
Yeah.
But then, and it may have changed by now. But I remember, do you remember the movie Bowling for Columbine?
Yeah.
From like, what was that, 2000-ish?
Yeah, I never watched it, but I do remember it.
I remember in that, like, I think it was like a bank in Colorado. If you signed up for a bank account, you got a free gun.
Huh. Yeah.
And like even Family Guy made fun of that. Like it was the one episode where they had to move to Texas, and Brian went to the liquor store and like bought a bottle of whiskey, and it came with a free gun.
Yeah.
Like I like that. That's obviously like an exaggeration and a joke, but like the joke has to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
Like certain states have super lax laws for that. Like you can just go into stores and you can purchase a gun without any sort of like background check or anything, up to like a certain like grade of gun. Like if you're just buying like a handgun, they don't care.
Yeah.
Like you can just go in and buy the handgun and walk out of the store.
It's nuts. It's too accessible in this country, and like yeah, I don't think they're bad. Like they have their uses. I don't think it's necessary for somebody to own like a weapon that can fire can have a magazine that holds more than 10 bullets or rounds or whatever you want to call them. But it's ridiculous that this stuff is happening weekly.
Yeah.
And I've been so inundated with hearing this stuff that it doesn't affect me anymore. Like I had people all over Facebook talking about guns again. I was like, well, it happened again because they're just so accessible. They're so easily accessible. Then I had people trying to make arguments that it was the reason he did this was because of either false masculinity or masculine entitlement. I'm like, no, this dude has mental issues. Like,
yeah, like people aren't properly treated when they do have these problems. Like,
yeah.
Like he's probably had issues since he was like in high school or elementary school, and everyone just pushed it off as, you know, like teen angst or whatever. But like at a certain point, it's not anymore, and like parents and teachers and stuff have to pay better attention. It's like,
look, I'm a kind of masculine guy.
Debatable.
I can fix things myself.
Just because you have a beard doesn't make you masculine.
And I will admit that sometimes I do get overly angry at things. And like, for instance, I was playing Crash Bandicoot this past week, and I was getting overly angry at an episode. What did I do? I didn't go shoot up Naughty Dog. I stopped playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have seen and heard stories of you losing your temper. You never violently attack somebody for it. Like, you might scream at somebody.
Yeah.
You might not damage things, but you might get physical with an inanimate object.
Yeah, I'll punch fake things. I'll punch
like
a wall.
Punch a pillow, punch a wall.
I've punched a wall before, and I regretted it immediately.
Yeah, 'cause it's one of those like when you have that level of frustration, like a physical outlet helps.
Yeah,
but like that physical outlet should never be getting a gun and shooting somebody.
Yeah, and
it should never even be punching somebody.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I did in the past, I got angry enough to want to hit something. I walk away. Or I hit something that's not a person or a living being, unless it's maybe a bug or something, because, well, bugs are gross. And I don't mind killing some of them. It's just, like, this is a mental health issue. Totally is. And I'm not saying everybody that has mental health issues are all messed up. I'm just saying we need to take a better look at this stuff. No one's ever gonna. Like, that's because of the NRA, because of all the bullshit that we have going on in this country. It's depressing. It's frustrating.
This is just going to spiral out and be one more thing that gets blamed on video games.
Yeah, and the video game they were playing at this tournament wasn't even it's football, so maybe kind of violent, but wasn't even a violent shooting video game.
It's also a thing that you can turn on any TV Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday throughout from August until February, and it's on every station all day.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like the video game Madden, less violent usually than what you're seeing them actually do out on the field.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you're not hearing and seeing the hits the way in the game, the way you're hearing and seeing them on your TV when they're zooming in and replaying the hits from 8 different angles.
Yeah.
But either way, like this whole thing is it's tragic and it's shitty, and the asshole that did it is dead. So fuck him.
Yeah.
Like it sucks that like other people like lost their lives because of this.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I hope that all the people that were just injured don't have any lasting injuries. Like it didn't look like anyone was. The last thing I read, like no one was in critical condition. But that doesn't mean that people aren't going to have, like, not just, like, emotional.
Well, emotional, and there's going to be physical, there's going to be nerve damage. If you got shot, there's going to definitely be nerve damage. You're going to lose feeling in places. You might lose the ability to use certain body parts. It's like, there's going to be lasting damage to a lot of these people, if not everybody that was involved.
And spinning out of it, too, EA did announce that they were putting a hold on all further tournaments.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that there won't be any more Madden tournaments. There just won't be any more official EA Madden tournaments leading up to, like, the big championship they do
for the
every
foreseeable
year.
future. They're gonna...
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be the entire season is just being put on hold, or if they'll start it back up in a couple of weeks after they maybe work on getting some sort of security for the venues where they're doing it. But, yeah. There's not really a good way to segue away from that, but Microsoft had actually good news this week. Have you seen Xbox All Access?
No.
Okay. So, you're familiar with Xbox Live Gold?
Yeah.
And are you familiar with Game Pass?
Kind of.
So it's a service of like $10 a month, and you can any games that are on there you can play indefinitely until they're just not there anymore.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a rental service, but you get the full game as long as you keep paying them.
Yeah.
Like I know Sea of Thieves was day and date with that, and some of the other big first party games are going to be day and date with it this fall, and they just released Master Chief Collection, I believe.
Okay.
So those two things. What is it? $60 a year for Gold, I think.
That sounds about right.
So $60 a year for Gold, and you get it's $10 a month for Game Pass, so that's $120 a year. How would you feel about paying $35 a month? You get Xbox Live Gold, you get Game Pass, you also get an Xbox One X.
Oh, right. This is the rental program.
No, it's not a rental because it's more like what phones are doing now.
Oh, okay.
So it's a 2-year contract, and you get the console and the services to go along with it, essentially.
Okay.
For $35. So the Xbox One X is $35 a month, which the math basically works out to be the cost of the Xbox and the two services. Like there's not it's not inflated or discounted at all.
Yeah.
And at the end of those 2 years, you just own the Xbox.
Oh, and does your price change after the end of those 2 years?
I guess you would renegotiate I don't maybe the contract is just 2 years and then like you don't pay anymore and you would just renew the services if you want it to.
I bet you they're planning on having a new system out in the next 2 years so that they get people to keep doing that from here on out. And they're probably going to be releasing like new systems or new like upgraded systems every 2 years.
I don't know if it'll go that far, but a lot of the speculation is that when the next Xbox comes out, they will push that service, like, because they make more off of first party software sales than they and its accessories than they do off of the console.
Yeah.
So the idea is get the install base, get as many Xboxes out there, and you're going to make the money off of the software and the services.
And I don't hate that.
And for what it's worth, the Xbox One S is also offered. That one is only $21.99 a month.
Okay.
So if like you did not have a Xbox One, and you don't have a 4K TV, you can get the One S for $21 a month, which $22 a month, let's say, which isn't much.
Yeah.
And get Xbox Live Gold and Games Pass. So like you theoretically don't have to buy games, especially if you're really just looking for the first party Xbox games for it.
Yeah.
Like that really isn't a bad deal. Like I have 2 Xboxes right now because I bought the S a while ago.
Yeah.
So like I don't need this. I'm not going to do this because while I have a 4K TV, I don't play enough Xbox to really need the One X.
Yeah.
And I also don't play the games that are really going to benefit from that on my Xbox.
Yeah.
But like this is a cool deal.
I can get behind it. I can get behind it. I wouldn't hate doing it.
And like I would 100% like if when the next Xbox launches, if they launch it with this and it's $30, but somewhere between $30 and $40 a month, I would probably jump on it for like the top line system.
Yeah,
because you figure like a two years for a console, it's generally going to be pretty stable at its launch price for those first 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, there's not going to be a lot of fluctuation. There'll be a sale here and there.
Yeah.
So I'm not losing money, really. Like, it's not like one of those things where it's like, oh, well, if I would have just put that $35 away, then I could have just bought the system outright in 2 years and probably bought it for less. Like, it would probably be the same price.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, doesn't seem bad. And I saw some people posting on some Facebook groups that they actually went and did it. Like, they just went to like a Microsoft store to sign up for it.
Yeah.
And they took them like 20 minutes and they walked out of the store with an Xbox.
And you know what? It's something, like, I have day one edition Xbox One. This thing, I mean, I barely touched it, so it's still basically new. It's just been sitting there, probably gathering dust. Definitely need to clean it out, but I could probably do for an upgrade. And if I had a better TV, I definitely would go for that Xbox One X and just do the $35 a month for 2 years. Like, that's not a bad price.
No,
it's a reasonable thing, and yeah, I can definitely see myself doing it for the next Xbox.
Yeah, and especially, like, I don't know, it just, dropping $500 on a console at launch is rough.
Yeah.
Especially when, like, there's not a lot of software at launch usually. Like, you're hedging your bets when you buy the stuff at launch that something is going to be worthwhile within the first few months.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, usually they'll have games announced, those dates can slip, those games can end up being bad. Like, I remember when the PS4 launched, I didn't buy a game until after Christmas. Like, I played Resogun.
Yeah, PS4 launched, I got that with, Killzone, and then any free games that came on PS Plus, and I upgraded my, Assassin's Creed Black Flag to PS4, and never played it on PS4.
Yeah, I got Black Flag and I got Lego Marvel Heroes for Christmas that year.
Yeah.
Lego Marvel Heroes was great, but it's a Lego game. Like, it's really no different on the PS4 than it would have been on the PS3.
Yeah.
Or the DS or the Vita or whatever.
I actually have that and still haven't really played it.
And Black Flag I thought was garbage. So
I love Black Flag.
Hated every second of it. We've been over that though.
Yeah.
So like, it was one of those things. It's like, yeah, the first few months of the PS4, not great. Kind of sucks that I bought it at launch, but at the same time, I'm glad I did because there were still some PS Plus games that I enjoyed playing.
Yeah.
That I had PS Plus on PS3, so I could have still bought them. But it would have been one of those like, oh, I probably would have never played them if I would have waited 6 months because then there would have been a bunch of other games to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I hope that this works for them and that they do roll it out with their next console.
Yeah, me too.
Speaking of Assassin's Creed, nice little segue there. There will be no new Assassin's Creed next year. They're taking another year off.
Which is good. And because I heard because they took a year off between Syndicate and Odyssey. Or
Origin.
And Origin came out great.
Yeah, and Odyssey looks really cool.
And now they're taking a year off to give us probably a new commodity because I'm sure they're ending something with Odyssey. So, like, I like that. And it doesn't, like, that's the main reason why I stopped playing Assassin's Creed, because I got the same thing every year, and it got worse every year. I was getting exhausted with playing terrible games in a series that I actually enjoyed.
Yeah, and that was the problem. Like, I know we just talked about it. Like, I'm super down on Black Flag. Like, aside from, like, the boat stuff that I really didn't have fun with, which I know you and basically everybody else enjoyed, like, the gameplay just... It was too many of the missions that weren't fun in that game. It was a lot of following and having to hide and those.
And at that time, you still didn't have crouch or anything like that, so it made it more like unreasonable to do stuff like that because you had to just walk around on roofs.
And I mean, not only that, it was like I remember there was so like the last thing I did in that game, and I still never went back to it, was you had to follow the one guy. I don't remember who he was. But you follow him onto an island, you follow him across, like, basically the whole fucking island through this little settlement where you can't be seen or you fail the mission. So it took me, like, 4 tries to, like, find the right path that wouldn't get me seen. And then you're supposed to, I think he leaves, you have to take something from somewhere, if I remember correctly. So, like, that part was okay, but it ends up being, like you said, I got on a rooftop and I just slowly, like, lured people over to me and killed them.
Yeah.
Until the entire settlement was dead, and then I got what I needed.
Going through all of Assassin's Creed up to a Black Flag, my most used items were poisons.
Yeah.
Because I would just shoot the poison out, and boom, they'd go down. They would go. It would either be the insanity poison where they would attack everybody, and I wouldn't be targeted for it, or it would be the poison that kills them and they would die.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was Assassin's Creed 2, a lot of the targets I killed in Assassin's Creed 2 were just with the poison, like the main targets. I was like, oh, there he is, poison, and then I walked away.
Yeah, and so following up that mission, so I finished that shitty follow mission, and then I got back on the boat. It's like, all right, like you need to go find this guy wherever he went to, like go get back on your boat, and it proceeded to be a fucking follow mission in the boat.
Yeah.
Where you had to stay a certain distance from them and avoid all the other pirates out there that were going to fucking attack you if you got too close to them, and it sucked. And I didn't even finish that mission. As soon as I realized what it was, I just turned the game off.
I think I vaguely remember that mission. I mean, I loved that game in its entirety, and I thought it was a step in the right direction for Assassin's Creed. But then they came out with Assassin's Creed France, which sucked.
Unity.
And that game sucked. So I was like, wow, like they went from something amazing with Black Flag to suck. And that's why I didn't even play Syndicate.
And that's the thing, like apparently Syndicate was actually better.
Yeah.
A lot of people did like Syndicate, and same with me, like I never got to it. But
yeah.
Origin's been the one that people seem to flock back to. And like I've been playing it. That game is a lot of fun. It is the fun parts of Assassin's Creed with all this new stuff added to it.
Yeah.
And Odyssey looks like it's going to be really cool too. So like I will probably get Odyssey. I probably won't get it at launch, but like I will definitely probably play it in 2019. But the idea is from what Ubisoft has said, they're skipping 2019, so there won't be a new Assassin's Creed, there won't be a spin-off or like another game in the series. They're instead going to focus on expanding Odyssey with like DLC or something like that.
Okay, which yeah.
So like that's cool. Like keep your game going through that rather than releasing just another $60 game.
Yeah.
What is next? Sorry, let me jump back to my list. There was a Nindies showcase this week. I don't know if you saw that.
I heard about it. I didn't watch anything for it.
So it was the Nindies thing where they just kind of run through a bunch of indie titles that are coming to Switch.
Yeah.
Some of them are new-ish. Some of them are just ports. So I have a whole list of all of the games that were released. Some of them I made little notes for. So Hyper Life Drifter is coming to Switch on the 6th of September.
Okay.
Which that game I think has been out for a year or two now. It's been on like PS4 and Xbox and stuff. It's cool. It's kind of it has a retro-ish look to it, but it's very bright and flowy and neat.
Okay.
I don't know a better way to like describe it. The art aesthetic of it reminds me a little bit of like that like Ori and the Blind Forest Fee look, but it's much more colorful.
Okay.
Towerfall is coming to Switch.
Towerfall Ascension?
The Towerfall just in general. So it's going to include like Ascension and the other add-on bit.
I didn't know that there was multiple stuff with Towerfall.
Yeah. So that's coming on the 27th of September. And it's going to support up to 6-player local play.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And it's going to have the character from Celeste, that platforming game that came out earlier this year.
I don't know it.
Of course you don't.
You're
the worst nerd ever.
I can't afford games, so I don't pay attention.
You should.
I mean, I probably know it. I just can't think of it right now.
Game called Treasure Stack is coming this winter. It's so my note is platforming Tetris.
Okay.
So it's a block game like Tetris, Dr. Mario, any of those things. But you actually have like a little man that you have to run back and forth with and actually move the blocks around.
Okay.
But like obviously when a block is on top of another block, you can't really move it anymore. So you have to be quick and jumping and avoiding things and also not getting crushed, it seemed.
It's going to frustrate the hell out of me. I will never buy it.
It actually looks kind of cool. Next one was Zarvot, Zarvot. It's coming out in October. It was like these weird little boxy things that shot stuff out of them, and I don't know. It didn't really speak to me.
Yeah.
And then there was Mineko's Night Market, which my note is Animal Crossing meets Harvest Moon.
Okay.
It just aesthetically looked very Animal Crossing.
Okay.
But it had like Animal Crossing themes to it, but it also had sort of that Harvest Moon stuff of interact with villagers, like different from Animal Crossing. And
Yeah.
go into the mines and have little adventures. And,
So Stardew Valley.
but again, with Animal Crossing,
Yeah.
because Animal Crossing is not the same as Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon. But it's story based, so it's apparently about a 20-ish hour story.
Okay.
And there's lots of cats in it.
Cool.
Yeah. And it's going to be early 2019.
Okay.
Then Samurai Gun 2 is coming to Switch, so that's early 2019.
Yeah.
Bullet Age, which kind of looks... It's a co-op game. Aesthetically, it reminds me of like if Castle Crashers were a shoot 'em up, but also a mobile game.
Okay.
Like, not in a bad way either. Like, it actually looks pretty cool.
Okay.
And that is coming in November. Then we have The World Next Door. It's a story-based puzzle. It looks weird, but actually kind of cool.
Okay.
So it's very much one of those story-based where it's just, like Fire Emblem, where it's just characters talking to each other, like through text boxes, and it's just shifting between portraits of them.
Yeah.
But then the gameplay are these puzzle fights where you're on this big grid and it's you and the other character, and you somehow have to move around the grid and attack at the same time. It seemed like
okay.
It was hard to get a complete idea of how that worked through the video, but it looked really cool.
Yeah, sounds neat.
Yep. And then Levelhead is the next one. Again, aesthetically reminded me of Spelunky.
Okay.
Like, not so much the way that you're playing the game, just the way the levels looked.
Yeah.
But it's actually a community-driven level maker, like Mario Maker.
Okay.
And it's all about, you make a level and then people try to complete it.
Yeah.
So it could actually be pretty cool. And it's going to have couch co-op. I'm not sure exactly how that'll work. I don't know if it'll just be you download levels and then two people can play them at the same time and like race through them or something. But
yeah, who knows?
It was neat looking. Due out 2018. No, of course. Due out November 2018.
Okay.
Then we have King of the Hat, which looks like it could be one of those good like party games. It's like a battle game.
Okay.
2D platforming battle game.
Mm-hmm.
The objective is to destroy your opponent's hat before they destroy yours. And you have, one of the playable characters is a washing machine with a basket of laundry as a hat. And
that's stupid.
Yeah, like just silly stuff like that. It actually it looks like it could be really cool. Then this one, it's called, right now anyway, it's called Untitled Goose Game. Goose, like the bird. Okay. It's a goose simulator. It's the idea is to annoy and ruin the days of people as a goose.
Some of these indie games on the Switch are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I saw one, it was a love simulator.
Sounds about
on the
right.
Switch. I was like, what, Nintendo actually let this come on here? That's so weird.
But yeah, both of those last two are due out in early 2019.
Yeah.
And then, so that was the last one that they really spent time on. Like all of these games got like a little video with like a voiceover.
Yeah.
Then they went into like the quick montage where they just kind of like flashed up games that were coming. And those included Desert Child, Wasteland 2 Director's Cut, Bastion, The Messenger, Undertale, Jackbox Party Pack 5, Transistor, Dragon Marked for Death, Light Fingers, Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery EP. And they're also adding an indie game channel to the Switch.
Okay.
So, now I know, so Bastion has been out for years. Undertale has been out for years, and we knew that was coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
Jackbox, it was inevitable. That thing comes out everywhere.
Yeah, and I'm more likely to buy them. Like, I think I have one or two on the PS4. I'm like, I might just buy them all on the Switch now. Just because, I'm more likely to bring the Switch places and I have a PS4.
Yeah, honestly, that's not a bad idea, especially with the way that game works.
Yeah, you only need one controller, and that's just to pick the game. So
yeah, exactly.
You don't even need a controller because it's a touchscreen. So you could just be in a field with people. And
you need Wi-Fi.
You do need Wi-Fi. Damn it. I'll figure it out.
And then Transistor has been out for a while. That was a PS Plus game several years ago.
Yeah.
It had been out before that too, obviously. And then I know Dragon Marked for Death is an Inti Creates game, because I saw Papa post about it on Facebook after the Nindies.
Yeah.
And then Light Fingers and Super Brothers, it's Sword and Sorcery. I'm familiar with the Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery one, but not Light Fingers.
I don't know them at all.
And then they pulled a one more thing.
Okay.
And that was the game Into the Breach, which came out, I want to say it was earlier this year. It may have been late last year. It's like a tactical RTS sort of game.
Okay.
it looks like Advanced Wars a little bit.
Okay.
Like, grid-based, you move things around, but it's all like tanks.
Yeah.
It's out now. Like, it was one of those.
I feel like they were showing something during E3 that was similar to that.
Not Nintendo.
Nintendo was showing something during E3. I remember that.
It may have been in, like, their Treehouse stream or something.
No, it was during the actual.
I mean, they had a lot of stuff, but Into the Breach was not there. Because I remember Into the Breach is actually, like, a game that got a lot of critical acclaim when it came out.
Okay. I do remember them, maybe it was, maybe they're doing it in New Advanced Wars or something. I don't know. I'll look it up during the break. We'll talk about it, because it'll take too long to figure it out.
But yeah, they definitely did the available now thing at the end.
Yeah.
So, like, it came out Tuesday, I guess it was. Tuesday or Wednesday, I forget what day the Nindy thing actually was.
I might buy that, because that sounds fun.
Yeah, like...
I really liked Advance Wars.
So, it's apparently it's complicated, but from what I remember people saying, like, it was complicated in a good way.
Yeah.
So, if you liked Advanced Wars, and you like the Fire Emblem games too, don't you?
I love all those tactical war games and stuff.
It's probably right up your alley.
Yeah.
There was also, off of the Nindies topic, the gameplay demo for Cyberpunk 2077.
It was like 40-something minutes of gameplay?
48 minutes.
There you go, yeah.
Did you watch it?
No. I saw, like, a quick thing on it, like...
Man, you suck at
it. It was yesterday when it came out, right?
No, it was Tuesday, I think.
Okay. I learned about it yesterday afternoon, or late afternoon, I think, but I have not really sat down in this house.
It may have been Monday. So CG Projekt Red put up a video on, like, Twitch.
Yeah.
And it was like a countdown, basically.
Yeah.
And when the countdown finished, it started the 48-minute gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
Which was actual gameplay. It was what was shown to people at E3.
Okay. Wait, the trailer was 48 minutes, or it wasn't just somebody?
It wasn't a trailer. It was gameplay.
Oh, well, I mean, like you said, gameplay trailer.
Yeah, I apologize. No, it was a gameplay demo.
Okay.
And they made very clear at the top of the thing that, like, it is not reflective of the final product.
Yeah, this is alpha phase still, right?
Well, so the thing, I don't know if you remember this, but when they were promoting The Witcher 3, the initial, like, stuff for The Witcher 3 looked way better aesthetically than the game ended up looking.
Yeah.
And people were real upset about that because people are stupid. Like, the game still ended up doing great and people love it, but, like, people were real angry about the way the game looked in its final build.
Yeah.
And that was one of those things, like, that company just wasn't prepared for that. So they came out, they're being very cautious this time.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, the gameplay that they showed, it was the same stuff they showed off at E3. Which I saw one person on Twitter, I forget who it was now, that saw the game at E3, said that it definitely is real gameplay, because during their demo, somebody from the company plays the game. Like, they didn't get to play it.
Yeah.
But they had them picking things out on screen for them to go look at and interact with to prove that they were playing and they weren't just pretending to play.
Okay.
Because people have done that before. They've had, like, an unplayable demo there and just given somebody a controller to make them think that they were actually playing the game.
Yeah.
But it looks pretty cool. Like, I was interested in it already, and my interest hasn't really changed at all. Like, this didn't make me more hype for it, but it also didn't make me less. It's a cool, futuristic, first-person game where it's feels very BioWare-y.
Yeah.
Where, like, your choices change the way things happen.
Yeah.
You can go into any situation, like, guns blazing, and just violently try and take care of it, but, if you're not properly decked out for that, you're probably just going to get murdered. Whereas you can also, a lot of the stuff they were doing in the gameplay demo was very strategically, like, all right, I'm going to go talk to this person, I'm going to make a deal with them, they're going to give me the thing that I can go then trade to this gang, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there was some, like, action in it. Like, near the end of it, they're playing as a female character. She like, transforms her arms into these weird, like, praying mantis, like,
nice.
robot arm things, and uses them to, like, jump onto the wall, and then assassinate a guy from the air with them.
Oh, that's so cool.
Meanwhile, she had previously hacked the guy so the thing that they can do is you can actually jack into a person if you sneak up on them and, like, gain access to them and whatever else they're connected to. So they hacked one of these gang members got access to the rest of the gang members, essentially, and used that to make it so one of the gang members couldn't fire his gun while the player killed the other guy that was there and then killed him.
Okay.
So, like, it was cool.
Yeah. Sounds neat.
And I'm sure, like, the game is probably still pretty far out. I know they did announce that it was fully playable from beginning to end. So, like,
okay.
But it's probably very bare bones. There's probably a lot of, I'm sure there's tons of bug testing to do with how open-ended it is.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed The Witcher. And, I mean, The Witcher got a little too long in the tooth at a certain point. So I'm hoping this one maybe, like, finds a way to stay on track a little bit better so that you don't hit a point where you're just like, I've put 30 hours into this game and there's still 100 left to go. I'm good. I got my money's worth.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what happened with me in The Witcher. Like, I'd love to go back to it someday, but I know I have so much left, and I already put a ton of time into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that happened.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it tomorrow.
It's worth it. Like, it's definitely worth, even if you don't, like, pay all of the attention to it, just kind of getting, like, a gist of, like, the world they're building and everything. Like, it's really fucking cool.
Tomorrow's the day before a holiday. I'm not going to be able to make any phone calls at work. I'll be paying attention to, because I know I'll run out of work probably more than halfway, or less than halfway into the day. So, yeah, I'll watch it tomorrow.
That's fair. So the last bit of gaming news. Streets of Rage 4 was announced.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I'm going to be honest, did not remember there was a Streets of Rage 3.
I just completely forgot about Streets of Rage in general.
No, I remember Streets of Rage. I remember 1 and 2 really well. They were the Sega brawlers.
Yeah.
I believe Final Fight was on Super Nintendo.
I think so.
I could be wrong there, but yeah, so this is being done by the same guys or not the same guys, but the .mu is publishing it, which they are the ones bringing back Windjammers with Windjammers 2.
Yeah.
There's no date or anything for it, and no platforms yet. But I mean, it's cool, I guess, and like if they do it right. Like they had a trailer with a little bit of gameplay in it, and the gameplay looks like every other game that has come out in recent years that are trying to have that beat 'em up aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, like, that's not a bad thing because a lot of those games were cool looking, but it's also one of those like, do we need more of these? Like,
yeah.
Does a title make it worthwhile?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I don't have that big of an affinity for them, so I don't see myself really going on my way to buy this, but, if it's on a sale or, like, free on PS Plus or something like that, I'd probably check it out.
Yeah.
You alright?
There's a fly. Keeps flying, Chloe.
Yeah, I know. You just look like you're on edge.
I'm a little tired and...
No, I mean, like you kind of, like, sat up and, like, you had your arms like you were ready to, like, pounce on something.
I don't know. This fly is just driving me nuts, so maybe I was gonna, like, try and hit it, and I'm really tired for some reason, so...
Well, we only have a few more news stories to go.
Okay.
Alright, so, yeah, Final Fight, Streets of Rage 4, coming someday. Pokemon. This is not game-related.
Okay.
Pokemon on Twitch. They are streaming, 19 seasons?
Yes, they're streaming, that's right, I forgot about that. They're streaming every episode and movie.
No.
No?
No, it's not every episode and movie. It's 932 episodes and 16 movies.
Okay.
I believe they're up to the 19th movie, and they're streaming 19 seasons. I believe they're on the 21st season.
Okay,
so it's not going to have the Alolan seasons.
They're doing everything up to Sun and Moon.
Basically,
okay.
Yeah. It's already started. I have not watched it, but I have opened up my Twitch app to see what episode they were on a few times. The first one I caught 2 nights ago was the one where Ash befriends Haunter and is on his way to take on Sabrina.
Yeah, that's right. His second time fighting Sabrina.
Yeah. And then the one last night was the bicycle road one where they have to get the medicine to save the Sheldar, and the really crappy biker gang tries to like stop them.
And they're just playing 24 hours straight, right? Like they're not stopping, or they're playing.
No, it's it seems like it actually has some sort of schedule to it. I don't know what the schedule exactly is. And because like when I've turned it on, like there's like the Twitch stream actually shows it. I just don't remember off the top of my head. I want to say it's like 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. like Pacific time. They're doing it, and then it's on the weekends they're doing the movies. So it will actually take a while, and like it's going to be several months before they get through it all.
Yeah.
Which, like, that's actually kind of cool, because this way, you know, people don't necessarily have to watch constantly. But yeah, it actually started on the 27th, so 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I believe it's 10 to 10 Pacific time.
10 to 16 Pokemon episodes will air on Mondays through Thursdays, with encores of these episodes running on Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay.
A different Pokemon movie will also be broadcast every Sunday. You can find the schedule for the first 9 seasons of the series below. Alright, so August 27th through September 3rd is Season 1, Pokemon Indigo League.
Talking to your mic better.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't really looking into the mic. So, August 27th through September 2nd, technically, is the Indigo League, Season 1. And then September 3rd through September 9th would be Pokemon Adventures in the Orange Islands, which is Season 2. And yeah, so continuing on. So pretty much every, what's that? 7? So once a week, they're doing another, they're going through a season per week, is what it looks like.
Okay. And so, I mean, that's 19 weeks.
Yeah. Well, no, 9 weeks. Well, for the first 9 seasons. So yeah. 19 weeks probably. Which, okay, I might, try to binge through what Netflix has to catch up and then watch it on Twitch.
Yeah, because I think Netflix only has the Indigo League, and then it jumps to, like, X and Y or something like that. And then it's got a bunch of the movies.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that is a thing. It's weird to watch those now. Like, just watching the little bits, I'm like, man, this is bad.
Yeah, that's right. The newest film, The Power of Us, which is, like, him finally finding Ho-Oh, it premieres, will be in select theaters in November.
Oh, I didn't know that was the next movie.
Yes.
That's kind of cool.
I believe that's what the next...
Only took him 25 years, or 20 years.
Like, oh no, the next one is I Choose You. Turned to theaters last year with a limited theatrical run of the Pokemon movie I Choose You, which is retelling Ash's first encounter with Pikachu and their journey to find the legendary Pokemon Ho-Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one that came out last year that everyone was real upset about, because Pikachu talked in it, and Brock and Misty weren't involved as, like, his friends. Because that was the weird one where, like, Pikachu had that weird voice and goes, "'Cause I want to be with you."
Yeah.
Anyway, so Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has been put on hiatus.
Yeah, that...
Or hold, I guess.
That indefinitely been set on hold, and that really makes me frustrated. And I've been saying this entire time with Batista going off on Disney that, like, if he gets fired, I'm not seeing... If he gets fired, or gets let go from Guardians 3, I will not see Guardians 3. Or I will not pay to see Guardians 3. Like...
I mean, honestly, at this point, there just might not be a Guardians 3.
Which sucks, because those movies were some of the better movies. Like, they're all great movies, but I loved the Guardian movies. And the next one, like, they're building up for... Because they have a new villain they set up in the end of the last one, that it wasn't going to be, or it was probably going to be some cosmic thing, but, like, it's just, I was looking forward to this, because it was all supposed to be maybe taking place between the end of Guardians 2 and Infinity War, the first one. So, like, I was just,
Oh, was it supposed to be between them?
I think so, because there's apparently there's a few years between, like, Guardians 1 and 2, I think there was only, like, a number of months, maybe less than a year between.
Yeah, and it's been,
and
like...
Guardians 2 and Guardians 3 or Guardians 2 and Infinity War, there was, like, a couple of years between, I think, is what I remember reading or seeing.
I'm actually pretty sure I remember seeing that James Gunn had written the script to be after Infinity War.
Oh, maybe.
Like, 'cause I remember somebody asking that to him, like, on Twitter, and he said, no, it's after Infinity War. Because you are right. If I remember correctly, Guardians takes place in 2014.
Yeah.
Like, they confirmed that. And Guardians 2 is, like, 6 months later or something.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, it's, 3 to 4 years after that is when Infinity War happens.
Yeah. Obviously, he didn't get hurt when I threw him.
Yeah. You might not want to say on there that...
I didn't actually throw him. I just gently let him go.
Cats are just jerks.
He's such an ass.
But, so, Walking Dead.
Yes.
The TV show that no one seems to really care for anymore, but still has crazy ratings.
Yeah.
It cast Beta, which I don't know if you would have ever met him in the comic from where you were at.
Not yet.
He is the second in command of the Whisperers.
Okay.
It's going to be Ryan Hurst, who was on Sons of Anarchy.
Okay.
Did you ever watch that show?
No.
He played Opie.
Okay.
He was one of the better characters on Sons of Anarchy, and it was real shitty when he left the show.
Okay.
Like, both how he left the show and just the fact that he wasn't on the show anymore.
Yeah.
But I think he has the right look to be Beta. Because, like, that character, like, I don't know, he's not, like, super imposing in the comic, but I feel like he should be, and this guy he's a big guy.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Hurst, so I feel like I think he'll do a good job in that role.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a thing at least.
Yeah, that's neat.
And then Big Bang Theory is ending.
Really?
Yep, season 12 is going to be its last.
Okay, cool.
So this year.
So at the end of the season, I'll go watch it on Plex or whatever I can watch it on, and finally figure out whether or not the show if I actually did find the show funny or not.
Have you never watched any
Oh,
of
no,
it?
I've watched a lot of, like, the first couple of seasons. That was one of a few sitcoms that I actually sat down and watched when it aired.
Okay.
But, like, ever since I haven't had cable, I haven't been able to watch it, and I'm like, maybe I only thought it was funny at that time. I don't know. Like, I've seen a few episodes and things where I'm like, yeah, that is pretty funny, but it
is very hit or miss.
Yeah.
And like most shows that go on for 12 years, in recent years it has been more miss than hit.
Yeah.
But like early on, like it definitely did have some of those like really memorable episodes.
Yeah.
And like generally it did kind of revolve around Sheldon and Penny. Like those two interacting like is what brought most of the humor early on.
Yeah.
Cuz like Sheldon was the super genius but had no social skills at all.
Yeah.
Whereas like Penny was just normal girl with all of the social skills.
Yeah.
So like they clashed really well.
Yeah, like the show was ridiculous at times, and it like you said, a lot more hit than a lot of hit than miss in the beginning couple, but a lot more miss than hit. Like I don't know, it's once they all started getting married and having relationships, the show kind of lost its thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like at this point, like two of the characters now have 2 children, I believe. Or they at least have one. I don't know if the other one was ever born yet.
I think they have to have the second one. Because I do remember hearing about that.
And then you have, like, Sheldon just got married. Leonard and Penny are married. The only person not married is Raj.
And poor Raj. Like, that's the thing. Like, Raj, I can't believe that anything real like that would forsake somebody like him. Like, how could he have such bad luck? And how could he be that much of an idiot?
They kind of, like, he's kind of shitty. Like, he's not a great person, but, like, he's not, like, the worst person either.
He tries his best to be a good person, but he doesn't really fully understand, I feel. It's just, yeah, I can't believe that, like he's lost so many great girls that him and her, like, they would have been the best together. It's like, that's just kind of frustrating.
But yeah, it'll have 279 episodes when it wraps up.
Okay.
Like, that's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
At that point, you should just beg to get a 13th season and push for that.
I don't think it's them getting canceled. I think it's the actors, or at least enough of the actors that the show couldn't go on, are just, they're ready. Like, 12 years of doing the same thing, like, they don't need to do it anymore.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you should try and push for that 300th episode.
So that would end up, they'd either have to do, like, a season with extra episodes, or actually do 2 more seasons.
Well, you said 279, right?
Yeah.
Generally, it's 24?
22.
22, so 70, 80, 90, so you would need 1 more season. You would need a season with 21 episodes in it.
Oh, yeah, I guess you would.
So you end on the 300th episode.
Yeah, that could work. But it's not going to happen.
No, it won't.
I mean, like, you also have to figure, like, at least, like, the 3 main stars, Jim Parsons, Kaylee Kuko, and,
Leonard.
God, I can't think of his name. Johnny Galecki?
Yes.
Those 3 are all making all of the money. I think they all make over $1 million an episode.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure everybody else doesn't.
Yeah.
Even though, like, it has become very much like an ensemble cast.
Absolutely.
Like, there's usually an A, B, and C story going on anymore.
Yeah.
Which I think is part of the reason why the show's kind of, like, not... Like, it was never the best show, but it was usually at least entertaining.
Yeah, like, they have too big of a cast to try. They have too big of a cast, and that makes the show falter because they're trying to make sure everyone has the appropriate amount of screen time per episode.
Especially when it's one of those, like... at this point in their lives, they're not just always with each other.
Because like you said, Howard and Howard and Bernadette have 2 kids.
Yeah.
Amy and Sheldon are married. Leonard and what's her name are Penny are married, and Raj is just Raj. So it's like, yeah, it's really hard to have them all connected anymore because they have their own lives. If they maybe would like sort each episode to be about one couple per or one person per episode, but have the other characters just interact throughout it and not have to spread themselves so thin with 3 stories per episode. The show would probably do a little bit better, or be a little bit better.
You are probably not wrong there. Anyway, moving on. Netflix. They're working on a sequel to Death Note.
Yeah, I think you shared that to me. I'm not surprised.
I mean, I'm not either because people watched it.
Yeah.
The problem is, like, people watched it and no one liked it. So I'm really wondering if anyone is going to bother watching the sequel.
I'm not gonna. Like, I reluctantly watched the first one just to see how bad it was. And it was terrible.
I mean, I think that might be what happens, though. I think people might go watch this one because people like bad movies.
Yeah, like, I just hope not. Like, I recently watched a bad movie because it was a low budget movie and a ridiculous concept. I would never watch it again, and I would not watch a sequel to it because it was that bad.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would watch. It's just, unless they make a lot of major changes to it, it's not going to be worth watching.
No, I agree with you. I don't have any sort of reverence for Death Note, and I thought that movie was just boring.
It was terrible, and the music sucked.
Last thing I have is kind of like a 2-parter. We got the dates that the Arrowverse crossover is going to be happening.
Yeah.
It's starting on,
Sunday.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I drew a blank there. Yeah, it's starting on Sunday with The Flash.
Yeah.
Which is going to swap with Supergirl. So
yes.
I didn't realize Supergirl was going to be on Sundays this season.
Yeah, Supergirl's going to be on Sundays this season. Flash is going to still be on Tuesdays, I'm assuming. But I think they're doing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday now, instead of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I think you're right.
And I think the reason they're swapping Supergirl and Flash is it Supergirl's 100th episode?
It might be.
I think that's what they've done. Like, the major episode, like the 100th episode, was always the last one of that. Plus, like, they pick, like, a character to focus on during those. So the first crossover with the aliens, they focused on Arrow for his 100th episode. And, like, he was the main character throughout all 4.
I mean, that was just last year's crossover, wasn't it?
That was 2 years ago.
What was last year's?
Last year's was The Flash with Universe X.
Right. I forgot about that.
And that was actually mostly... It was the wedding of Barry and what's her name? But, like, the last 2 episodes looked like it more so focused on the Legends. Because
but
the Legends
they weren't there until the last episode.
Yeah,
so.
And I think Flash was the last episode of that crossover because that's where they actually officially got married, and that had to have been their 100th Flash episode. Had to have been.
Honestly, I don't know. We can check afterwards, but yeah. So it's going to start Sunday, December 9th with the Flash, and then it'll go Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
So the Legends of Tomorrow are not part of it. Like their show is not going to cross into it.
Okay.
Or at least they're not going to have an episode devoted to it.
Interesting.
Which makes me think a little bit more that it's going to be Arrow and Flash going to Supergirl's world.
Yeah.
I think Batwoman is going to be part of that world, not part of the Arrowverse.
I think they've kind of already said that.
The other thing that was announced with it, though, Superman's coming back.
Awesome.
Tyler Hoechlin, I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah.
The first good Superman we've had in 30 years. Like live action Superman. And
Henry
honestly,
Cavill is pretty good.
Who?
Cavill.
Cavill.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah. He's not, though. Like, he's not a bad actor. Like, it's not like he's doing bad, but he's just those Superman movies are bad Superman movies. Like, he's not Superman. He is not bright and optimistic and a hero. I
mean, that's just how they're trying to portray him.
I know,
I think he would be a good Superman if he were given the right direction to be Superman.
Yeah, the little bit that he was in Justice League, like, that felt more Superman than he has ever felt in Batman v Superman or Man of Steel.
And that's also because of the ensemble of castmates and cast members that he's had.
Well, it was because all of his stuff were reshoots that Joss Whedon did that gave him a little more levity. Yeah. But that also kind of messed up the flow of the movie.
Yeah.
So, but Supergirl has objectively the best Superman.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of those, like, I thought Brandon Routh did a good job with Superman Returns. Like, that was a bad movie, though. But,
yeah.
Like, he was a passable Superman.
Yeah.
And I think, like, Christopher Reeves was a really good Clark Kent. But, like, I never thought he was as believable as Superman. But he's just iconic as Superman.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Tyler Hoechlin, I'm going to say his name different every time just to see if maybe I get it right one time. I think he did both really well. Like, I think he nailed the Clark Kent, kind of being a little clumsy, but, you know, well-respected and everything. And then, like, he felt like Superman when he was Superman. Like,
yeah.
he was heroic, and he was optimistic, and that is Superman.
Yeah, he was a fun Superman.
I keep getting calls from random numbers tonight.
I got a call from a random number when I just got home. I said hello, and they hung up, so...
Like, it's almost, 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
8:15? It's 8:15. Why are these fucking things calling me? I'm Googling it to see what it is. And first thing that comes up, robocaller warning.
Yeah. Hang up.
Wow. Last blocked 11 seconds ago, according to this website. But yeah, so that might be the most exciting part of this, is that Superman is going to be back.
Yeah.
Just because he wasn't in it at all last season.
Yeah.
So, and with him is Lois Lane.
Okay, cool.
They're introducing the Arrowverse version of Lois.
Oh, sweet.
I don't think she's been cast yet, though. Yeah, no, it doesn't look like she's been cast yet. But, like, that's actually kind of cool. I'm excited to see what comes of that. And yeah, that is it for news.
Did we cover Matt Smith? Or not Matt Smith? Matt Smith?
I mean, no, because there's nothing other than the fact that he was cast for Star Wars reportedly.
He's been cast for Star Wars in a major role.
But it's not confirmed. It's a rumor, and there's no information about it. It's the same, somebody else was cast in Star Wars, and it was one of those that's like, that's great, but it's a rumor, and there's no other information. So
He's going to be Rey's mom. Or dad. No, he's going to be Rey's mom.
He's too young.
They can make him look old.
They're not going to cast somebody like that to play, to make them older.
And you don't know what race Rey is, and how old they live, and how they age.
Look, Star Wars is not that clever.
They're not humans.
They are, though.
No, they're not.
They are. Han Solo says it right to Jabba. He calls Jabba a human being.
Jabba's a human. But
He's saying it facetiously.
Doesn't necessarily mean... Because humans come from Earth. Or Earthlings come from Earth. Humans, Homo sapiens, come from Earth. And in order to make Homo sapiens, you need all the things that went right on planet Earth to make Homo sapiens.
No, you need them to be Earthlings. Anything with our biological makeup can be a Homo sapien.
They're not humans.
You don't know that.
They're not.
You have never seen their genome.
You don't know how they age. That's all I'm saying.
But yeah, right. I saw the Matt Smith thing and I just didn't care because it's a rumor.
Okay.
I like it. That's cool if he is, and if it's a major role, but
I mean, like, the thing is, I do take it with a grain of salt because the last time he was cast in a major nerd thing as a big role, he was an AI.
I mean, yes, but he was a major role in that movie.
I didn't see the movie, so I don't really know.
But at the same time, he also wasn't a major role because he was only in it at the beginning and the end.
Exactly.
But, I mean, that was a bad movie, too, so...
That was the new one, right?
Yeah, Genesis.
Yeah, okay.
Do you have anything else, though?
No, not that I can think of.
All right, well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back, and we'll talk about stuff we've done.
Okay.
And we're back.
Oh, man. That was a long, 3 hours.
Dude, it was like a minute.
That felt like 3 hours because you're here.
Look, I don't want to be here any more than you want me here, so...
Exactly.
I offered to do this over Skype, but...
I hate doing it on Skype.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great. It's also... the conversation's harder because, you try not to talk over each other and...
Oh, I mean, that's our conversations in general. I'm always trying to say something. You just keep talking anyways.
I know. I'm trying to keep it from you saying anything inappropriate.
I don't say inappropriate things.
I don't know.
I'm not James Gunn.
Earlier, you were throwing your cat around.
I didn't throw the cat. It was just a terminology that I used to say that I got it out of the way. I didn't actually throw it.
So, what have you been up to?
Things. trying to remember what I had done last week before I beat Mario Odyssey last week, which we talked about last week.
Yeah.
I had a wedding this weekend, so I didn't really get a lot to do this weekend. I did catch up on the 2 episodes of My Hero Academia that I was behind on.
Do you watch it subbed or dubbed?
Subbed.
Okay. So you're 2 episodes ahead of me.
Yeah, so not this episode this week, but next week is just a filler episode to prepare you for the movie.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Okay.
I see enough online to know when stuff like that happens, but not to get anything spoiled.
I mean, that was the only time they've ever done it. But they even tell you, like, sorry, we kind of have to do this. We're going to take a break, but we'll be back next week. But we're taking a break from the normal story to do this random story, and then we're going to go back to the normal story.
Yeah.
It's really cool that they did that, because most animes are just like, screw you, we're going to take like 6 months off. It's like, oh.
Well, so that's the nice thing with this seasonal anime stuff that they're doing now. And I mean, it doesn't always work out, because look, what is it? One Punch Man's been, what was that first season was 3 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
And I think there were like a year or 2 gap between each season of Attack on Titan.
I think so, maybe even more.
So I think season 3 is airing right now.
Yeah.
But like at least with My Hero, it's been every spring for the last 3 years, a new season has started.
Yeah.
So like that gives them time for like the manga story to progress enough that they don't have to do like, you know, a year of filler.
Yeah.
Because I was actually, we'll talk about it more when we're up to me, but I was looking at the filler stuff for Bleach, and there are points where there's close to, if not over, 100 episodes of filler in a row.
Oh yeah.
Like,
there was
multiple times.
Bleach and Naruto were terrible at fillers.
I mean, Naruto had 2 years of filler.
Well, Naruto had 2 years of filler, and then Shippuden came out, and they were worse.
I know. Yeah, I'm aware.
I used to complain about it on here. I think that like they would be in the middle of story, and they had a section where everyone was experiencing their best idea of what a world would be, and you got to see all of them. Like most of the main characters, you got to see most of them. The ones they kept out were the ones that were more interesting to watch than the ones they threw in there. And the worst one of them all of Naruto was Tsunade's. Tsunade's was her living her best life, which was her being her reading a book. And so you were watching the book. So you were watching an alternate universe in an alternate universe for 3 episodes.
That sounds about right for Naruto.
Oh my god.
That's why I stopped watching that show. Like
it was terrible. I think there was 1 year or 1 year where throughout the entire year they had 2 canonical episodes of Naruto.
I remember you saying that before.
It was obnoxious.
But
and terrible. But yeah, My Hero, it's just I'm so glad they did 1 filler, and they pretty much did it because like, hey, we got this movie, we want to set it up.
Yeah.
And we couldn't set it up before the movie, so we'll set it up now, since the movie has already been released in Japan. And they even say, like, look, the movie's already out, and if you haven't seen it yet, you can now go see it. But if you did see it, go see it again.
Yeah, because I know the movie takes place prior to season 3.
Yeah.
So it's before, like, all the training stuff that goes bad, and then...
Yeah. The setup was a neat setup. It was funny, kind of funny, just, like, it takes you out of it because it was a much needed reprieve from the seriousness of the past couple of episodes. And how the cliffhanger they give you the episode before and what they're setting up for the next episode is really cool.
Okay, yeah, because the last English episode was all of UA Class 1A passing the first part of the exam.
Yeah.
So like
so your next episode is the initial part of the second exam.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good anime. I trying to think if I watched anything. I did watch a show on Netflix that I think everybody should. There's a viral clip of this show going around that I'll explain in a second, but first I'll explain the show. It's called Magic for Humans. It's a guy going around doing like street magic and stuff, but it's less magic and more brain games type thing. So it's like a brain games type of show where they talk to you about different parts of people's psyche and they do tricks on that. And so I did, but didn't pay full attention to it. It's only 6 episodes long. You get it done in less than 2 hours, or in about 2 hours. And it's like episode 4. Like, I always bring up episode 4 when I talk to anybody about it. Episode 4, there's a segment in it, and this is the viral clip that's going around, where they make people think they're invisible. So this magician gets a bunch of actors to go out into a field and like go to a stage in this park, and he does a show. And he does a legit show, and people come and walk up, and as he sees people like marks walk up, only one, like if they have any more than one, it kind of screws up. But when I see like one mark walk over and sit down and watch, he then enacts the next part of the plan, which is he makes somebody disappear and then pulls the actual audience member onto the stage and have him disappear and go invisible. And then he walks away because he's on a phone call. And these people think they're invisible because these actors are trained or told not to acknowledge these people at all. And at one point, people take a selfie and the guy's behind him and they show the picture. He's not in the damn picture.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like that's how awesome this was. And they sold it. So at one point, he goes to grab a bottle of wine out of somebody's picnic basket. And people are like, oh my God, it's moving by itself and pointing at it. And he quickly puts it down. But they do it to two people. And both of their reactions are so amazing. It had me on the floor cracking up. Everybody has to watch this. It's a great show.
Yeah, I might have to check that out.
Each episode is just like, there's funny things about each episode. And when I watch comedies and stuff, I don't often laugh. I'll acknowledge that it's funny. Like, I'll shake my head. Maybe I'll do a little chuckle. But this show actually had me laughing. And it's not often that happens when I'm watching a show by myself.
So what you're saying is you have no sense of humor.
Oh, no, I have a good sense of humor. It's just when I'm by myself, laughter is contagious. So I find it funny, I just don't laugh. It's weird. But if there's people here and other people are laughing, I will laugh at it. It's like part of that laughter is contagious kind of mentality. Like I feel
like you're
funny.
broken on the inside.
No, I mean, I'm not. Pete Holmes, the comedian, says he does it too. Like if he finds something funny.
So you're just trying to be like Pete Holmes?
No, it's how I react to laughter. It's how I react to funny things. Like that's funny. That's a good one. Or like, but I won't like laugh. I'll just like a chuckle or something. This show had me laughing, like crying, laughing at some of these.
All right.
So check it out. Like I said, it's only 6 episodes. You can get it done in an afternoon, and it's worth having on in the background and listening in. It's such a funny, good show. And I went to the Phillies game yesterday, and it was Marvel Day. I got that pretty cool non-bobbling bobblehead Incredible Hulk right there. His head doesn't bobble.
Is it supposed to?
It's supposed to. It doesn't. I think they glued it too much.
Oh, okay.
I have to ask my brother and my dad if their Hulks bobble, but his head it's there, and it's like I was tapping it and it wasn't bobbling. But it's pretty cool. I got to watch the Phillies win for my birthday, and I got that Incredible Hulk.
Your birthday was a month ago.
No, my birthday was less than a month ago. We're still in August.
Your birthday was like the third day of August.
I know, but we were gonna originally. This is the funny thing. We were gonna originally go for Shane Victorino's retirement game on my birthday.
Yeah.
But it was hot and disgusting, so we decided not to go.
So you went at the end of August when it's always more hot and disgusting?
Yeah, but like it's really dumb. My dad bought us Hall of Fame seats. So like if it gets too hot, you could go inside and cool down.
That's actually pretty cool.
But because he bought us the Hall of Fame seats, we didn't get the vouchers for the Incredible Hulk dolls because of the tickets we bought. So it's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, the tickets you bought, you can pay an extra $10 per ticket to get a voucher to get the Incredible Hulk doll. But because of the tickets you bought, because of your level of ticket, you don't get it. It's like, well, what if I downgrade my ticket? Will I get the doll? He's like, yeah. All right, downgrade my ticket. So they downgraded him to, we were third baseline, section 136. We were row 24. So not too far off.
Yeah.
Less money than it costs for him to get the Hall of Fame tickets, and we got a free bobblehead. It made no sense whatsoever.
Wait, so you ended up not having Hall of Fame tickets then?
Right.
That's a shame, because honestly, I would have taken the Hall of Fame tickets over the bobblehead.
Oh, yesterday? Absolutely.
Especially, like have you ever, because Hall of Fame is the one right behind home plate, right?
I've been to Hall of Fame. It's like it's up, section 200.
What's the section 100 considered then?
Section 100 is just a section to sit. Hall of Fame is enclosed in section 200 where they have food and drinks in the bathrooms all indoors. You go outside to watch the game.
Diamond Club, I'm thinking of.
You might, yeah.
Because so if you're down, like we got seats the one game directly behind home plate.
Yeah.
Where all the seats are cushioned.
Okay.
And It's weighted service for food.
Oh, that's neat.
So like people come up and down the aisles, and you can put an order in for them for whatever you want. They have menus and everything.
Okay.
Or you can go behind you, and straight back is doors that take you into the Diamond Club, I believe is what it is, where there's a bar, there's tables that you can get like food to sit down at with all the screens and stuff going. And if you go to the far side of it, it's the Phillies batting cage.
Oh, that's
so
neat.
you can actually watch them warming up before games and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I might try to go to one more game this season.
Okay.
Within the last 2 weeks, there are about 8 or 9 games that they play against the Atlanta Braves, and they're 3 games behind Atlanta for first place.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize they were that close to them.
Yeah. So with 9 games at the end of the season, I might try to go to an Atlanta game.
That's fair.
But besides that, and here's where we'll get back into nerdy stuff. You talked about it in the past, but I actually started playing it. I played Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
What do you think?
Not too bad until the second island, and then it gets fucking hard. That's just the first game. There's
all those games are... So the fucking pig level, the first pig level, drove me up the goddamn wall.
The only reason the first pig level drove me nuts was because I was trying to get all the boxes. If I wasn't worrying about all the boxes, it wouldn't have been a pain in the ass. I would have been able to clear it easily.
There was one jump near the end of it that I just could not figure out the timing
with
for.
With the guy with the shield?
No, it was over one of the pig roaster things.
The pig spits were fine with me. There was one jump, it's a guy with a shield, and right behind him was a drum. So you had to time the jump good enough to jump over the guy with the shield and hit the drum, and then go over the pit. Because if you jumped too late from the drum, you'd hit the drum and you'd fall. And if you jump too early, you would jump over, or like if you jump too early for the drum, you would jump over the drum. That was a pain in the ass. That level maybe took me about 4 or 5 tries, but I had about 25 extra lives.
Yeah, I never had an issue where like I was low on lives, but that was the level that took me the most.
The level that's given me the biggest pain in the ass is a bridge level.
Oh, okay. Those suck too.
The first bridge level, because some of the platforms you can't be on for long. I think. I don't know. Maybe it's once you jump off it falls. I don't know if it's while you're standing there it'll fall. But certain platforms you can't be on for long. And so you're constantly jumping, and I'm really bad at platformers.
Okay.
And so yeah, I ended up using all 12 or 13 of my lives.
Oh jeez.
And then I've been retrying or restarting the level.
Well, just speaking of platformers, did you go back and do any of like the Dark Side of the Moon stuff in...
I tried the Dark Side of the Moon. It's a pain in the ass.
Did you get to the darker side of the moon?
No.
Okay.
Because I don't know what it is, and I know the dark side of the moon is a pain in the ass, and I don't want to do the dark side.
Okay, fair.
Because the dark side of the moon is just fighting the bosses with the moon fist. And it took me so long to get past the first enemy, and there's no checkpoint between them. So I was just like, screw it, I'm not going to do this. Because it took me 20 tries to get past the first enemy.
That's fair.
So if anything, I will go back to it, and I'll get moons from other levels to get the last, I think I need like 30 more moons to open up the darker side to try it.
So the darker side is platforming.
Yeah.
So.
But it's platforming with moon physics, I'm assuming?
It's just all sorts of fuck you.
Okay.
But it's not a boss rush.
Okay. So I might like that a little bit more, but the dark side of the moon is such a pain in the ass. And there's 27 moons on the dark side of the moon, but you don't get a moon per boss, so I don't know how they have that. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Unless you just get 27 moons when you clear it. I don't know.
Maybe you fight the bosses 27 times.
Well, I killed one of the bosses, and I didn't get any moons.
Okay. Yeah, I honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to look that up. But I'm not done with Mario Odyssey. It's just, I wanted something new. Because I was like, let me get into Crash Bandicoot. There's 3 games in Crash Bandicoot that I have to play. And I know that's going to take me a while because it's old school PlayStation platforming, and it's going to make me very frustrated from time to time. So I should get started on it now.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, it's just as fun as I remember it to be. There's a lot of things I don't remember how to do on air.
Yeah, especially after it's been this long.
Yeah. So I'm going to keep playing. I'm going to keep trying to get through it. There was one level that I need to go back to because I missed out on getting all the boxes, and if you get all the boxes in that level, then you unlock a gem where you can then go back to the first island and unlock secret areas to unlock all the gems there. And it's just, there's so much to do in those games.
There really are.
Yeah. I'm grateful I got it for the Switch where there's no trophies, so I don't have to worry about getting all the trophies.
That's fair. That is fair.
But besides that, not a nerd thing. I did fantasy football on Monday and got my fantasy football team. If Druten were here, he helped me pick it.
Did you get any good players?
I got a lot of good players. I actually, one of the guys that's in my league ran our draft through fantasypros.com. I had the highest score with 100%. And then everybody was percentile below me.
Oh, wow.
So it was like the lowest percentile was like an 86%. So it's like I had 100% the best team out of the league.
Who's your QB?
My quarterback is, who is my quarterback?
You forget who you picked for a quarterback?
Yeah.
What defense did you pick?
Defense doesn't matter.
I thought you still picked a defense.
You do pick a defense, but you swap out week to week.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought the way it worked was
no.
you pick all of your offensive players, and I thought you just picked a defense.
No. You pick a defense. I swap out week to week. So, I mean, I picked up the Texans defense to start.
Okay.
But they're playing New England, so I'm probably going to swap that out for a different defense.
Oh, you're not locked into your defensive choice?
No, your defense you can switch out week to week, and that's what I do. I swap my defense every week.
Okay.
I picked up Drew Brees as a starting quarterback.
Okay.
And I have
what team is he on?
He is New Orleans.
Okay, I thought so. For some reason I was thinking Pittsburgh, but I'm like, no, that's Ross.
The Roethlisberger.
Thank you. I could not get his name out.
Big Ben. And I picked up Alex Smith as a backup quarterback.
Okay.
But I picked Jordy Nelson and Nelson Aguilar back to back. So I changed my team name to the Jordy Nelson Aguilar. Just because it's the champion, Jordy Nelson Aguilar, because I won last.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so I'm shoving it in their faces that I won last. And I am the champion until somebody else wins. That's how it works.
I mean, look, that's how Preston and Steve announces sports every week with the Eagles are still the Super Bowl champions.
Not every week.
So.
Every day.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Every day.
Every day.
I don't listen to them that often, but when I get in the car, a lot of times, they're on sports.
Yeah,
so.
I hear it every morning because my alarm goes off at 6 and 6:40. So it's from 6 to 6:30. I just let it go, and when Kathy does sports, the last thing she says is, "The Philadelphia Eagles are
still the 2018 Super Bowl champions or whatever."
Yeah.
But is that all you got?
Yeah, for the most part, I think so.
All right. Well, I did a lot, but not a lot at the same time.
Well, you got 5 minutes.
Man, I got as much time as I want.
You've done it to me.
So I'm still playing Assassin's Creed Origins. It's still cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where it's going because I just got to a point where I think I'm going to get to start swapping between characters.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll be an optional swap or if it'll be story-based, but I have Bayek, and I'm pretty sure I'm about to get to play as his wife. Okay. And she seems pretty badass.
Cool.
I also got Donut County.
Donut County. I think Eric was telling me about that.
Okay, so you remember Katamari Damacy?
Yeah.
You know how that game was you had the little ball and you would roll things up and make it bigger and bigger and bigger?
And the bigger you got, the bigger the things you could get.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric did tell me about this game.
So this is a game where you have a hole.
Yeah.
And the more stuff you swallow up, the bigger the hole gets, the bigger things you can swallow up.
Yeah. And it's so weird the way Eric explained it to me. Is you play as a raccoon playing a cell phone game.
Yep.
And the raccoon is delivering donuts to people. And the cell phone game he's playing, you're eating up the world of the people that you just delivered a cell phone to.
A donut to.
Or donut to.
Basically, yeah.
On this raccoon's cell phone.
Yep.
I'm
and it's actually story-based, too. So
yeah.
It cuts back and forth to, at some point in the future, as this raccoon, you have swallowed the entire town, and the entire town is now 999 feet below where it used to be.
Yeah.
And it's literally they show all the disheveled townspeople around a bonfire with just broken buildings and stuff crumbled around them and everything. And the raccoon just gives no fucks that he did it. And it's great. I only played for maybe a half hour so far, but it was an $11 game on Steam. And they do have it. It is on PlayStation also.
Yeah. I was actually going to look to see if they ever release it on Switch, I'll definitely buy it.
Yeah, I mean, so it's one guy made it.
Yeah.
He's actually been on the Giant Bomb E3 stuff the last year or two talking about it. It's got good music. It's got a fun aesthetic. There's every time you clear a level, so you're trying to get to level 10 in this game because at level 10 you get a helipad or something like that.
Okay.
Like a helicopter bike essentially.
Okay.
And every level, you get experience that is slowly filling the bar. I haven't gotten it to level 10 yet, so I don't know if that's the end of the game or what. But yeah, it's been neat, and there's a little like puzzleness to it. Like at one point, I got I swallowed. There was a dude in a hot air balloon, and I couldn't eat him or swallow him up because he was in a hot air balloon, but he was like anchored to the ground, so he wasn't going up too high. So what I ended up doing was when I got big enough, I swallowed this big kiln, and it started shooting out hot smoke. So then I went underneath the hot air balloon, and I sat there long enough that it literally just kept pushing the air balloon up until the anchors broke and it flew away.
Okay.
And that cleared the rest of the level for me.
Oh, nice.
And then like, there's every level, there's also this thing called the Trashpedia, where everything that you swallow gets like a little icon and a little blurb underneath of it.
Okay.
And it's very silly stuff, but funny.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it. Apparently it's like 2.5 hours long, so I'm probably going to finish it up this week. I bought it while I was at work, and I was at a client all day, so I had like a break in the middle. So I actually like just played it on my computer during the break to see what it was like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it ran on my MacBook, so...
Yeah, it seems like a silly, neat game that I wouldn't mind playing. It's just, I kind of want it for the Switch, just because...
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
It's a game that I'd rather just take on the go and screw around with from time to time instead of...
It would be perfect on the Switch, I just don't know, because I guess it's easier to get things on the Switch, but it's not 100% there. Like, you kind of have to get approved for it and all.
Yeah.
So, like, it might not come to the Switch for, like, 2 years.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it's definitely worth picking up.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, for, like, $10, it's worth picking up on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a super easy platinum.
Yeah.
So, like, you can platinum the game in 2 hours, like, without really going too much out of your way to, like, grind trophies or anything.
Doesn't surprise me.
I also watched a lot of stuff. So, I don't remember if you were on the episode or if it was just me and Drew, but I was talking about the show The Magicians.
Probably just with Drew.
It's a show that from the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah.
The first 2 seasons are on Netflix. It's actually a really good show.
Yeah, I've always been interested in that show. I just never got around to it.
Give it a shot. Like, it's funny and has some action and drama and stuff like that, but, like, they do a good job of it.
Yeah.
The reason I'm mentioning it again, we just finished season 2. Season 2 went very fucking, so the whole time there's like this book series that a lot of the characters are fans of that is very much like a Lord of the Rings meets Narnia meets Harry Potter sort of deal.
Yeah.
Or at least that's the vibe I get, but it's like old, like it was written in like the 40s or 50s. Kind of like Narnia or, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And it turns like, so the show is like magic is real. And most of the characters in the show get accepted to this magic college.
Yeah.
Where like they're already adults. Like it's not Harry Potter where like they're getting a letter at 10. Like they get brought to this school, they try out. Most of them don't even know that, they don't always know that magic is even a thing unless they come from a family that has magic already.
Yeah.
And if they pass the test, they get accepted into the school. If they fail, they get mind wiped and sent home and they don't know any better. But at the end of season 1, beginning of season 2, they find out that like this book that they were a fan of, like it really happened. And like this world from the book is really there.
Okay.
So this season is a lot of them spending time in that world. And like that world hasn't really gone so well. One of the main characters, well actually 4 of the main characters become the kings and queens of it.
Huh.
One of them in particular becomes like the main king though, and he has to stay there. Like he's not allowed to leave.
Okay.
But in this most recent episode, they were talking about stuff, and this guy who became the king, he's one of the funnier characters in it. His name's Elliot. He referenced Trogdor.
Nice. Like
literally, something happened with a dragon, and he was being told about this, and he's like, "Are you telling me Trogdor just did this?" And it was just one of those, like, I decided, I'm just like, he really just made a Homestar Runner reference.
Yeah.
In 2018.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the show has it must be written by people in like our age-ish, like somewhere between like 29 and 35, because it has a lot of kind of those references that like we would have gotten from like us being in high school.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a good show. I've enjoyed it. There's a 3rd season that's just not on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
We finished Full Metal Brotherhood.
Nice.
I forgot, like, that show gets weird near the end.
Oh, it gets really
like in a good way, a good way. And, like, I forgot how nuts Mustang goes when he goes against Envy.
Yeah.
Like, after he realizes that, like, after he finds out that Envy was the one that killed Hughes.
Yeah.
And, like, the fact that, like, Envy kept trying to pull that shit where, like, he turned into people that, like, he thought Mustang would care about. Like, he turns into Hughes at one point, and Mustang just lights him on fire even worse. Yeah. He's like...
They did that in the live-action movie. They had that scene in the live-action movie.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
That's actually kind of cool.
And yeah, he just kept snap. But I think they're basing the live-action movie a little bit more off of the original series in this one, because he turned into a little lizard and ran away.
No, that's happened in this.
Okay, then never mind.
Yeah, in Brotherhood, he's been the lizard twice in Brotherhood.
Okay.
Once when they're in the north, the doctor that Scar messes up his face, the one that learned how to create the Sorcerer's Stones first.
Yeah.
And like Al and Scar and the two chimeras that are with him at that point all managed to take him down just to his base form again. And then, which is the little lizard guy. Yeah. And then Mustang did it. And Mustang was getting ready to kill him, but Ed and the blonde-haired lady that is like his subordinate, stopped him.
Okay.
But, yeah, that was just a fun episode just because, like, Envy just kept running away. He's like, oh, wait, you're the guy who killed the other ones by just lighting them on fire over and over again.
Yeah.
Maybe I can't beat you.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what happens to Glutton. I think, all the homunculi end up dying in that one, right?
Yeah, because Greed also dies, but kind of dies, like, by choice.
Yeah.
Like, Greed sacrifices himself so that so that Ling survives.
Yeah, Greed did not want to be a homunculi or any of that.
I mean, he didn't mind being a homunculus. He did not want to work with Father.
Yeah.
And actually, technically, Pride doesn't totally die, because he gets taken back into his little form, and then,
Pride was the boy in this one, right? Yeah.
And then Ed gives the little fetus-looking baby to the Fuhrer's wife, and she raises him.
Okay.
Because, like, at the end of the series, like, 2.5 years later, he's, like, a toddler. And, like, the old guy that was Mustang's former supervisor is now the Fuhrer. And he basically has to go, like, if he starts acting evil, we're gonna have to kill him.
Yeah.
But...
Sloth was my favorite in that one.
Yeah.
Sloth was so cool.
Well, Sloth was great, plus it had the best scene ever with him, where it was Armstrong and,
the teacher's husband.
Yeah, who I can't remember Izumi's husband's name. But it's those two, and they both have, like, the muscle off.
Yeah.
And then they shake hands, and then they tag team them for a minute.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what?
Yeah. And, like that series, that series took such a turn, because it ended up being that, like, Scar was more of a good guy and less of a bad guy. And,
yeah.
Like, it's such a good series. It's amazing.
It really, it had a lot of really good moments that, like, I had forgotten. Like, I watched it, I think, like, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I had watched the original back in, like, 03 or 04, whenever it was on.
Yeah.
And I remember I had started Brotherhood, but not all of it was available.
Yeah.
At the time. And then, like, a couple years ago, it was like most of it was on Netflix, and then the rest of it was on Hulu.
Yeah.
So I'd kind of, like, watched the whole thing. But, like, there was stuff that I had just forgotten that happened. And, like, rewatching, I'm just like, oh yeah, this is a good show.
Yeah.
It's not a bad dub.
No, it's not. But that's a dub that we grew up with.
No, because I watched that subtitled. I never watched the dub for that.
I watched the original dubbed, and they use the same voices for both.
That I did know, but yeah, because when the original came out, it was before we really got stuff quickly here.
Yeah.
So, like, I was downloading that, like, illegally, because that was the only way to get it at the time. Like, you couldn't even get the DVDs.
I was watching it on Cartoon Network because I didn't have my own PC or laptop, so I didn't want to bog up whatever we had. So I was watching it on Cartoon Network when it came out. And then eventually I downloaded it all on my laptop, watched it all, subbed. I was like, this is awesome. Then watched Brotherhood subbed. I was like, this is awesome. But yeah, the dubbing is finally done. Well,
because I was going to say, so Brotherhood at least falls in that, like, era where, like, it's just late enough that they got better at dubbing things. Yeah. Or not just at dubbing things, but at localizing it.
Yeah.
So, like, they didn't butcher some of the stuff and make it super weird.
Yeah.
Because after that finished up, I got Erica to start watching Bleach.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm trying to steer towards things that, like, I'm familiar enough with that I know if there's stuff that we should skip. And
well, you two should both definitely watch the original Death Note.
See, I just never had any interest in Death Note.
She would love it.
Yeah, no, and, like, I'm not opposed to watching it. It's just one of those shows. It's like nothing about that has ever appealed to me.
And it's only 2 seasons, so it's an easy watch as well.
Yeah,
it's 50-something episodes.
But yeah, we started watching Bleach, and she seems on board with it for the most part. We're on episode 18 or 19.
Okay. So you're still on Earth.
Yeah, they're about to go into Soul Society.
Okay.
So the next episode the episode that we literally just watched 2 episodes before I came here while we were having dinner.
Yeah.
The last one we watched was the one where Ichigo started his training with Uehara.
Yeah.
So like in that big cavern underneath the shop where he had to dodge the little girl's punches.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that happened was he got thrown in the pit and has to try and climb out before he turns into a hollow.
Right, okay. So he already cut his chain, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So like that's where it ended. So like she got to see him just get completely fucking destroyed by Rukia's brother.
Yeah.
And Chad and Orihime both had her powers, and that kind of that confused her.
Yeah.
And then when Ishida showed up with like his like spirit arrow things.
Yeah.
But the only thing that seems to so Bleach is just old enough that like the dub isn't great. Like, it's not so much the voice actors, though I don't like some of the voices for some of the characters.
I've never really watched the dub.
So, did you ever watch the dub of Trigun?
Yeah.
So, it's Johnny Yun Bosch is
Ichigo. I do know that.
But his voice sounds no different than it does for Vash.
Yeah.
Which, neither of his voices sound exactly like his normal speaking voice, but it's close.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know, his voice just sounds too adult to be a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
But then, like, I don't like Uehara's voice. Like, his voice is too kind of, like, deep and laid back, whereas in Japan it was a little more high-pitched.
Yeah.
Which I know is a weird complaint. Same thing with Renji's. Renji's isn't, like... Not that his Japanese voice was, like, guttural, but it reminded me a little more of Vegeta.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas his English voice doesn't at all.
Yeah. Can you watch it subbed on Netflix?
You can, but... I mean, they don't even have all of it on Netflix.
Yeah.
They only have up to the end of the Soul Society arc, so like the first like 60 episodes.
Okay.
But
and then is the rest on Hulu, or do you have to go to Viz or something like that?
No, the rest is on Hulu.
Okay, so from 61 on, or all of it?
It looks like all of it.
Okay.
But we don't have Hulu right now, so it's going to be one of those like I'll wait until we get there because like we're going to be turning Hulu on soon because there's a bunch of shows on there that we want to start watching.
Yeah.
But to watch something like that many episodes back to back, like subtitled, like Erica wouldn't want to do it.
Oh yeah.
Because like she plays on her phone and stuff like that while we're watching it. Like a lot of these things, like you don't have to pay like strict attention to.
Yeah.
So like she would just miss everything if she had to read also. And like that's also one of those things. Like if that's not a thing that you do, reading subtitles and still getting like to watch the show takes a little while to kind of get the hang of.
I mean it's something I'm used to. It's something I know how to do. And, like, it's something I've become proficient in speed reading subtitles. Can't speed read anything else, but I can speed read subtitles.
Yeah, because, I mean, at a certain point, too, like, you learn to almost, not even speed read, but just kind of skim for major words, and then you start to infer other parts of the conversation just based on, like, the tone and common words that you're familiar with.
Yeah, you start to kind of not understand the language, but kind of understand the language.
Yeah, like you don't necessarily know what the words mean that they're saying, but you understand the words that they're saying mean something. Yeah. If that makes any sense at all.
And it even comes to the point where I don't even realize I'm reading them when I read them.
Yeah, no, it's the same. Like I mean, it's been a while since I watched stuff subtitled, just because a lot of times now if I am watching anything, lately it's been watching it with Erica, and before that it's like I'd put something on while I was doing work, and I can't necessarily stare at the screen, but I can listen and like kind of keep an eye on it.
Yeah, like if I'm gonna watch an anime, if it's cartoon, I'll probably try it subbed at least once, like a few episodes, or dubbed a few episodes, and if I like it, if I like the voices, then I'll continue on with that. If I don't like the voices, I'll go to subbed. If it's a live action thing, it has to be subbed because
dubbing is awful.
They can't do dubbing. That was that show The Rain. I watched 2 episodes of it dubbed, and I was just like, I have not watched any more since.
Yeah, I can understand that.
It was a neat show. I'm like, I think it was Swedish or something. I need to put it in Swedish.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about
because it's just rough.
But yeah, so I mean, like, it's been a long time since I've watched any Bleach, let alone like these early episodes.
Yeah,
and I mean, like, they don't look great because it's standard definition and it's non-widescreen.
Yeah,
so like it doesn't look bad, but it's a little grainy and stuff like that. So I'm hoping like when it gets a little further in, it goes to at least widescreen. Because that show went long enough that I believe it probably would have gotten there.
It had to have.
Because this is 2004 is this first season?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's 14 years ago.
Yeah. You're making me want to watch more anime. And I've been really having that anime itch a lot lately.
But so, the one thing I've noticed is Erica's not a big fan of some of the anime tropes.
Yeah.
So, like, every time they focus in on, like, boobs, just because it's ridiculous the way they do it, and she does not like Ichigo's dad. Don't spoil anything.
I mean, Ichigo's dad, he becomes awesome later on.
But, because she does listen, so. Yeah. But, he's a really shitty dad early on. Like, and so she liked Armstrong in Full Metal. Like, it took her a little while to get used to the fact that every scene he's in, he tears his shirt off.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, like, she found him endearing, and she liked him, and she rooted for him, and she thought it was funny when he did that. And Ichigo's dad is still at that point where, like, he's just kind of weird and obnoxious and a little creepy about the stuff he's doing.
Yeah, yeah.
But, like, overall, she seems pretty interested in it, which I think is cool, just because that was one of those shows where I thought the story was interesting enough that it was hooker, but I didn't know if all of the action would.
Yeah.
I'm actually really looking forward to seeing, like, how she reacts to some of the stuff coming up. Because, like, once they actually get into Soul Society and actually get into, like, the Soul Reaper, like, compound, like, that show gets fucking nuts. Yeah. Like, between all of the captains that start showing up and all, like, the different weird powers they have.
Yeah. I went, what was it, last week? Probably last Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember. I went out and there was a Regirock raid for Pokemon Go at Red Banks. I was like, ooh, you know what? Guys, give me like 20 minutes, I'll be there. And I drove over there, and I made the raid, and there was like, there's another one in Woodbury Police Station. We're all going to go. I'm like, yeah, sure, it's right down the street. Sure, why not? So I go, and as we're waiting for more people to show up, I was talking to this guy, and he's like, oh yeah, I read the manga of Bleach, and how also, like, eventually Kenpachi actually does get his thing, his Bankai, and, like, it's never going to be in the anime, because the anime's over, but, like...
But you did just kind of spoil that he doesn't have one.
I mean, you find out the second he gets on screen.
That's true.
It's not really that much of a spoiler.
And honestly, he will probably show up prior to her hearing this episode.
Yeah, it's not a spoiler, because it's, like I said, you find that out within minutes of meeting him. He's just a big buff guy. And he's awesome. I love Kenpachi. He's my favorite ever. But apparently, like, his blade becomes just like this giant meat cleaver type thing. Like, it's like pretty much there's an episode later on where they explain that the captain, like, the blade is as big as the amount of soul energy the Soul Reaper has.
They basically explain that in the episode where he fights Renji for the first time.
And that's also why his blade is so big, is he's got a lot of soul energy.
And he doesn't know how to control it.
Yeah. So there is an episode where they explain that the reason their blades are so tiny and, like, katana-like is because they can control it. Well, the way it pretty much goes for Kenpachi is he has no control over his soul energy. So when he releases his Bankai, he turns, like, blood red and like a demon and just has this giant epic-ass meat cleaver that's just humongous.
That's kind of cool.
Because he's got tons of soul energy that he can't tap into because he doesn't know how. So I was like, that's freaking badass. That's amazing.
But yeah, so the one thing that I realized while we were watching it, especially after, because as the characters were getting their powers for the first time, it was one of those, like, Erica kept asking, like what's that and how'd this happen, and like she's curious about all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I started, like, thinking about some of the things too, and I realized that, like, your main like party, like for the Soul Society arc anyway.
Yeah.
It's basically an RPG party.
Yeah.
So you have Chad is your tank.
Yeah.
Orihime is your support, like your healer support character.
Yeah.
And then you have Ichigo is your close range DPS, and Ishida is your long range DPS.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. And when it comes to, like, how Orihime and Chad got their powers, like, they go into it, but the very last arc of the anime
actually explains it more?
They explain it more.
Okay. Because I never saw the last arc.
So the very last arc will explain exactly, like, why it is that they have power.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Other than that, we watched an episode of Seven Deadly Sins also.
I want to watch that.
Because she had seen online that show and Fairy Tail were both listed as, like, recommendations if you liked Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
And I saw that Fairy Tail is, like, 7 seasons long.
Fairy Tail's long.
But it's only got, like, it's like 200 episodes or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's only got, like, 40 of them on Netflix.
Yeah.
And don't think they're dubbed on Hulu either. So I didn't want to like start a show like that and then not be able to finish it.
Yeah.
And Seven Deadly Sins is actually like brought to America by Netflix.
Yeah, it is a Netflix original.
So it's all on there that's available right now anyway.
Yeah.
Because I think season 3 comes to Netflix soon.
Yeah.
But we only watched the first episode of that. It was weird, but it seems like it could be interesting.
It seems very neat, and I do want to check it out. There's tons of anime on there. Heartlock Space Pirate, I really want to watch. It's a movie that looks really cool. Yeah, there's so much.
But the only other thing I watched, and this was just me watching it, I finally finished Jessica Jones season 2.
Okay.
Which I forget. Did you ever finish that?
I did.
Okay. Yeah. So I had 5 episodes left to go.
Yeah.
So like I watched those 5. I actually watched the last 2 today. It wasn't a bad season, I think overall. It just did not have the same. It didn't have like the same like impact as the first season had for me.
I've gone over this with other people, and I agree with it to an extent. In Jessica Jones, she is not a compelling character. Her villains are compelling, but in this season, her villains weren't that compelling.
Because she didn't really have a villain. That was the problem.
Yeah, and there was no real major overarching story, and like every episode to me kind of just felt like one shot.
Yeah,
and like each episode would bleed into the next one, but that would be dealt with within minutes, and then the next episode is just its own thing. I was just like, there was nothing pulling me to keep watching. I just watched it to finish watching it.
Yeah, and like most of the side characters this season weren't great. Like I thought Trish was the worst.
Yeah, Trish was the worst. I thought Jessica was the worst for the way she treated Malcolm.
Yeah, and like Malcolm was one of the better characters, and actually Hogarth. Yeah, sorry. Like I like her character to an extent. Like I like what they could do with her, but they never do a good job with it.
Yeah.
Or at least they didn't do a good job with it this season.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm hopeful for a 3rd season, because I think that show could be good, especially if they take Trish in the right direction, which I'm hoping after this season they do.
Yeah.
But next I'm going to slowly start getting through Luke Cage.
Yeah, because Iron Fist starts next month. Soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Next week, I think.
I thought it was later in the month.
I can't remember. I think we went over this last week.
It was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up real quick. Oh, yeah, no, it's September 7th, same day as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll be busy. I already pre-ordered Spider-Man. I'll be too busy playing that anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just going to try, like, I want to get through that, and, like, days where I don't have, clients all day, like, I can work and watch 2 or 3 episodes of that easily.
Yeah.
And, like, still watch the other stuff that I want to watch, so.
Yeah, like, I want to get back into Luke Cage. I want to just watch an episode a day, because this season, the first 2 or 3 episodes just didn't compel me.
Exactly. And that's kind of where I fell off, too.
Did you watch the first couple episodes of Luke Cage, right?
At least the first 2. It might have been the first 3.
And that's, Luke Cage is the opposite of Jessica Jones. Luke and the heroes, very compelling character. They're villains. See, I don't find what's her name, the old lady.
Oh yeah, no, she's the worst.
I don't find her compelling at all, and I think her and Shades are gross as hell, and I don't want to see that anymore.
But see, in the first season, was it Cottonmouth or was it Diamondback that was the guy in the first half of the season? I forget which snake he was.
Cottonmouth was great.
I liked him, and then yeah,
they nixed him off halfway through the season.
Yeah, exactly. And then it went to Diamondback,
which was like 2 episodes though. Right? Diamondback was the big guy.
He was like here and there for like a bunch of episodes, but he wasn't like a villain until like the last 2.
Yeah, and it's just so it's like their most compelling character was Cottonmouth. They killed him halfway through, and then they haven't really had a very compelling villain. I hear the villain in this one, the snake villain in this one, I can't remember his name, is amazing, but I'm just like I can't get past Mariah and Shades. And Mariah and Shades, I don't like that they did that. I don't like them together, and I don't like Mariah. Shades is a great villain, but Shades being like all up in Mariah's business is just weird and gross, and I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I mean you're not wrong. But yeah, like I will probably, I'd say by the end of September I'll probably be caught up on Luke Cage and maybe even Iron Fist.
I might. I think I'm gonna just try to watch 1 episode a day. Like I have some cleaning I need to do tomorrow before I go out down to the beach, but I'm gonna probably maybe watch 1 episode tomorrow, or maybe 1 tonight after you leave before I go to bed.
Yeah, I know, like we're getting new floors this week.
Yeah.
So Saturday they're coming and putting a new dining room floor down, and then Tuesday they're coming to do carpet.
Okay.
So, like, on Tuesday, I'll probably just, like, I took off of work on Tuesday, so I'll probably just, like, watch a couple episodes of that while they're doing the floors.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not like I can do much else.
Yeah.
But at least I can, like, sit in the dining room with my laptop or something and watch it on my laptop while they do their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as Jessica Jones concerned, like, it wasn't an offensive season. It was not as good as the first one, and that seems to be kind of the norm at this point for those Netflix shows. Like, Daredevil season 2 wasn't as good as the first season. It had its ups. Like, it had more ups than downs in my opinion, but I think overall it was a little lackluster.
I still think Daredevil season 2 was better than Jessica Jones season 1, though. Like,
yeah, that's because you're weird and broken.
I wasn't a fan of Jessica Jones season 1.
See,
I'm not really a fan of Jessica Jones season 2.
I love Jessica Jones season 1. I could take her leave season 2.
I loved David Tennant. Hated the rest of the series.
Yeah, I mean,
was not compelled by it. Was
and
not
see, like,
pulled in.
I thought in the first season Jessica was a compelling character because you were finding out what she'd been through. But like after doing that, she had no character growth between season 1 and 2. She was still the same character in season 2, and I feel like
and she, like, there wasn't even any growth in the Defenders, and they were through a lot during the Defenders as well. And it's all just Jessica is a bad person. And that's what I don't really find very compelling about a superhero show. It's how bad of a person she actually is.
But like she does save people at the same time. But
she does her best to save people, but then like she's an asshole.
I know, I mean, she is. And like I'm all for her being herself and like being an asshole, but I think the fact that like her entire character arc both seasons is just basically like a reoccurring theme of alcoholism.
Yeah.
And it's like she needs to grow and change a little bit. Like I could understand, like, it should have had her, she should have grown as a character in the beginning of this season, and then had things change when it came to, like, the whole mom thing that went down, like, in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I think that's going to about do it for this week.
Probably.
So yeah, thank you for listening. If you'd like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us over at patreon.com/onequest. We have podcasts on all of your favorite platforms. You can just search for OneQuest in your favorite app, or we're on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and basically anywhere else you'd like to get your podcasts from. We have social media. We are on Facebook.com/OneQuestOnline. We are at @1_quest on Twitter and Instagram. And you can always email us, social@one-quest.com. And finally, we have a YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/OneQuestVideo, where these episodes have been getting posted as audio only to YouTube videos in case you prefer to listen to your podcast that way.
Yeah.
And I think that'll about do it for this week.
Yeah, seems about right.
So next week I won't. 2 weeks from now I will have Spider-Man, and I am very excited for that.
Awesome.
All right. Bye everybody.
See you.